What is up, everyone? In today's video, we're going to be giving you the full forecast across the entire United States. All of the weather you can expect across your area in the United States today, including severe weather and hurricanes. So let's dive right into the forecast. This forecast is powered by WXRundown. And of course, we gotta start with the Storm Prediction Center's outlook for tomorrow. And by the time you start waking up tomorrow, this is when the thunderstorms are already gonna be going on. You see, we have a slight risk of severe weather for tomorrow that goes through Missouri and goes down through northeastern Arkansas. This slight risk is going to be just to the west of St. Louis, and it's going to be just to the east of Kansas City. So what's good is tomorrow we don't think the main risk of severe weather is going to be in any of these cities. However, if you live anywhere between, that's where the problems start. We have a 15% chance of seeing some significant winds that we think could be 60 miles an hour or more in severe storms. And we have a small 5% of some damaging hail that includes Joplin and Springfield in Missouri. But it is important to note, if you live in western St. Louis, that we do have a 2% tornado risk for tomorrow. And yes, it is the lowest risk that the Storm Prediction Center can put out for a tornado. However, this means the Storm Prediction Center predicts that there is a possibility of seeing a tornado or two tomorrow. And this risk goes all the way up north through southern Iowa, where we have the chance of seeing a tornado or two possible. And you can see the future radar here, and this shows what we think is going to happen. And you can see by 9-10 a.m. we already have these storms passing. However, you can see an additional round start to fire off around 7 to 8 p.m. and this is where I think the tornado risk is going to heavily increase. And you can see around 10 p.m. we're predicting some pretty widespread severe weather there in St. Louis, Missouri. And again, this goes up through southern Iowa. And this is the time zone where I think the tornado risk is going to increase substantially. However, you can see when we go into Saturday morning, we have some more storms developing around the Ohio Valley. And you can see in the afternoon we have an additional round of thunderstorms, just like we're going to see tomorrow. So yes, if you live in Louisville to St. Louis, we're going to be seeing some severe weather. The St. Louis threat being tomorrow and the Evansville to Louisville threat being on Saturday. And speaking of Saturday, they have gone ahead and issued a marginal risk of severe weather over Louisville, and this goes back down through Tennessee. We have Nashville, Tennessee sitting in a severe weather risk as well. And if you live in the Louisville metro area, your threat is primarily going to be the afternoon hours. And this threat increases especially if you live east of I-65. This is when we think there's enough wind energy in the atmosphere to support severe storms and potentially some tornadoes. However, the main risk is definitely going to be damaging winds. I wouldn't rule out a small hail risk, and number 2 is definitely going to be the tornado risk. And I don't want you to hear this video, hear my wording, and freak out and be like, oh my god, Saturday, I live in Louisville, there's going to be a tornado outbreak. That is not what we're talking about. I know that's how online is going to make it seem. They're going to overhype this system, make it seem like it's going to be the craziest weather event that's going to cause the world to end. They treat every tornado risk like it's a tornado outbreak. They treat every thunderstorm risk like the next hurricane. And their whole goal is to make you just keep watching their video. Over here at Liam Severe, we don't do that. We give you the most accurate, honest, and reliable weather information. As we know, anywhere on the internet can be scams. There's these new weather channels that are coming out daily, and some of them are good. Some of them are actually people that are interested in weather. And then you get towards the clickbait side, and that's where we have these people making crazy thumbnails saying, if you live in this area, it's over. This is the next El Reno, this is the next more Oklahoma. And believe me, real meteorologists and weather analysts have never used that wording. So make sure you subscribe here at Liam Severe, as we're going to be giving you the most honest, accurate, and reliable information. This tornado risk is not the next tornado outbreak. This is the lowest tornado threat that the National Weather Service can issue. However, it is higher than just nothing. It is a notable threat. You want to make sure that you have a way to receive reliable weather warnings, and you have a shelter plan just in case that warning is actually issued for your area. Shifting to the National Hurricane Center's outlook for the region, you can see we have nothing expected in the Gulf, the Caribbean, or the Atlantic right now. It's pretty standard stuff for mid-July. But we do have some tropical waves out there, and you can see that red line is the tropical convergence zone. It goes back through Africa, and you can see the usual ridge of high pressure off to the north. We know that it's always going to be responsible for sending everything from Africa, all these tropic waves that we see, and sending them all the way through the Caribbean. On your screen right now are 4 different tropic waves, 2 of which are still in the Atlantic. One is in the middle of the Caribbean right now, and we also have another one out here in the Pacific that is exiting the Caribbean. You can see those tropic waves on your map here. If I draw, you can see number 1, number 2, and we're going to have another one that comes off the coast of Africa here shortly. So by the time the next video is out, we will have another one coming off. And you can see the 3rd one sitting there in the Caribbean, and the 4th one sitting over here in the Pacific. And for anyone that doesn't know, a tropic wave is a area of organized thunderstorms thunderstorms that comes off of the coast of Africa. The arrow I have put on your screen is how all of these tropic waves move. They all come off the coast of Africa and then move up through the Caribbean, and they sometimes can dip down into the Pacific. So here is a better drawing of actually what is happening. And again, these tropic waves are not actual water waves. These are organized thunderstorms, and this is the first step in tropical development. And also, these are really normal. This does not mean every time I'm saying this that a tropic waves means it's the next hurricane. It's, oh my goodness, there's 4 of them right now. There must be 4 hurricanes coming, right? No, these are only thunderstorms. There is no low pressure system that is associated with any of them right now. But this is the beginning stages of how hurricanes and tropical storms develop. And right now I'm eyeballing all of them, and they don't seem like they're gonna have any chance of developing into anything tropic right now. And they're actually quite the opposite. This is actually really good, as we're getting precipitation in areas that don't get a lot of precipitation. If you live there in Dominica, and this goes through St. Lucia, Barbados, and up through the Virgin Islands and Puerto Rico, you're going to be seeing some rain chances as this tropic wave passes pretty close. And this is an area that has some heavy droughts, so it's glad to see some precipitation finally entering this area. And all around, nothing is trying to get the next name, which is Cristobal. And in fact, Cristobal was actually a hurricane before. This is a reused name. If you didn't know, they reuse every name every 6 years. The name becomes eligible to be in the list once again. However, there's a few exceptions, as some of the names cannot be reused. For example, Katrina will never be able to be used as a hurricane's name again. So for anyone wondering, is Hurricane Katrina gonna come back one day? The answer is no. We're not gonna see another hurricane or another tropic storm named as Katrina. But all around, a very quiet tropics right now, with the tropic waves moving through. That's actually a good thing. We're going to see precipitation to some of the places that don't see as much precipitation. We're going to have another tropic wave moving off the coast of Africa here soon, and we have some Saharan dust that's sitting around the Puerto Rico area right now. This will continue to move towards Cuba, so this could impact if you have asthma or any other breathing related issues. And that's all the weather I got for you today. If you liked the video, make sure to like, make sure to subscribe to this channel. Big shout out to WXRundown for powering this video. So I hope this information helped you, and have a great rest of your day. Goodbye. Ooh.